Hi everyone, it's Andrea from Movers and Bakers. Today I'm going to share with you how to make my strawberry and rhubarb bars. This has a beautiful buttery shortbread base, lots of strawberries and rhubarb as a filling, and a beautiful crunchy crumble topping. Let's get baking. Right, this is so easy to make. You can have it in the oven in 10 minutes max. So I've got two bowls, one for my fruit and one for my shortbread. Now the base is actually going to be the same as the crumble topping, so that makes it even easier because you just got one to make. So I'm going to use a nice big bowl for my crumble base, my shortbread. So into that I'm going to literally pop all my ingredients. So I have some plain flour, some sugar, I'm using granulated sugar today, some unsalted butter. Now, as you can probably see from my butter, it's a very warm day here today, and that's why it's nice and soft. If you are making this in a colder climate, or it is colder where you are making it, please soften your butter first. Don't try and do this with hard butter unless you want to get stuck in there, because it will just take a lot longer to make up this crumble. So because my butter is really soft, I'm doing a cheats way and I'm just chucking it all in and it will work just fine. So that's my butter, it's unsalted butter. To that, two more ingredients. We've got a little bit of salt and, for a bit of flavour, some vanilla. So now that all my ingredients are in there, I'm going to get mixing. You can absolutely do this by hand. For speed, I'm going to use a hand mixer. You can also do it in a stand mixer, of course. So once your mixture has come together, you can see it's sticky, it's crumbly, it's beautiful. It's starting to clump together exactly like that. That's what we want. That is the crumble mixture done. So I'm going to put this away, and then I'm going to bring over a tin that I have prepared. Now this is a 8-inch square tin. It's got a loose bottom. It's one that I use for making brownies and blondies and all sorts of things like that as well. I have lined it with some parchment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip half of this mixture into here and press it into the bottom. So once you've got half your mixture in the tin, you're going to press this down nice and firmly into an even layer over the bottom. So you want to make sure that your base is nice and smooth and well compacted. This is going to give you a really good base for when you cut up your bars later. So this bit's really important. Make sure it's really well pressed down, really compacted. I like mine nice and smooth as well, like that. So that is all ready and done. We're going to set both these aside for a moment because I am now going to make my fruit filling. So into a separate bowl, I'm going to pop pretty much all my fruit ingredients. We have some lovely fresh strawberries. So I've removed the stem, the stalk, held them, and I've quartered these strawberries. And if I had some bigger ones, I've maybe cut them into 6 pieces, but just roughly cut them into quarter kind of size chunks. To that, I'm also going to add my rhubarb. Now my rhubarb, you can see I've cut into roughly 1-inch thick pieces. That is perfect. So it's been washed and sliced up, and that's going to go into. To that, some sugar. Because rhubarb can be quite tart, I'm just adding a little bit of extra sugar just to sweeten it up so that it tastes nice and not too tart and sour. So this is just regular granulated sugar. Couple more ingredients. A little bit of lemon juice. Now lemon juice is a preservative, so what that's going to do for your fruit is it's actually going to help it retain its colour as it's baking. It's going to help it keep that vibrant red, the deepness of it, rather than going really brown while it's baking. So that's going to go in there as well. And our final ingredient is cornflour. Now cornflour is the magic here, because what will happen with this fruit when it's baked is it's going to release a lot of the juices within the fruit. But we don't want to get rid of that because that's where a lot of the flavour is. So what the cornflour is going to do is absorb that and make that more into a saucy, beautiful, thick mixture, and it's not going to run out. It's not going to give you a soggy bottom on your shortbread. It's not going to do anything like that. It's just going to stay together and give all the flavour to your bake. So I'm going to mix all this together just to get the fruit all evenly combined with the cornflour and the sugar and the lemon juice. So once all your fruit has been mixed together and all the ingredients are looking fairly well combined, you'll actually notice that some of the juices have started to come out already, and the fruit have this kind of sheen, I guess, of sorts over them as the juices come out. But you can see that it's got a bit of a white kind of film to it. That's the cornflour, and that's going to absorb your liquid. All that is going to come together when it's baked and give you a lovely juicy flavour. So this is going straight over. I'm not baking this at all before I do this. My base is here. I'm going to pop all this fruit over my base. Once you've got your fruit in, make sure you scrape your bowl down to get all the juices and the remnants as well, because this is all the corn flour that's going to help with thickening our juices. So don't leave these in your bowl, get every single last bit out, drizzle it over and spread your fruit over your base too. So once you've got all your fruit in, give it a little bit of a press down, a bit of a wriggle, just to help it find its space in the tin. And you want it to try and get it as flat. It's not going to be flat, don't worry, that's all good. Just as flat as you can over the top, like that. Perfect. Now we are going back to this crumble topping. Let me give myself a bit of space to work. Right, so the crumble topping, you can just, with what's left, I'm going to use a spoon and just spoon it over the top of your fruit in an even layer. There is no need to scrunch it up or anything like that. Just sprinkling it over is just fine. Make sure you get all the way to the edges and just put it in an even layer. So while I have been making this, I have had my oven preheating behind me. It's been heating a little bit hotter than usual at 190, and I'm going to bake this once I have finished with the topping. It's going to go in for about 45 to 50 minutes. So once this comes out of the oven, leave it to cool in the tin completely before you think about slicing it. I actually prefer to chill it for a few hours or overnight before I cut it. I find that makes it easier to cut. But if you want to cut it straight from the tin, that's absolutely fine too. These are beautiful going in lunch boxes or on picnics or anything like that. But if you want to warm it up and have it with ice cream or custard, they are absolutely delicious that way too. And there you have it, delicious strawberry and rhubarb bars. Thanks for joining me today, friends. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and do let me know below if you make it too. Happy baking.